Hi, Ray.
I wonder why you got that speaker muted thing on there.
That worked fine.
Okay. The everybody pretty much knows your background based on our what I sent out to them. If you want to add anything, please go ahead. And welcome to the Mac user group.
Okay, well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. You know, I've worked, this is my job, is teaching people how to do things with their Macs and with their iPhones. And I've been doing that for 27 years full-time before the iPhone was invented. And I'm going to keep doing it until I run out of gas. There, nice mess, right? Does that look pretty messy?
Yeah.
I got you covered, though.
Do you want to talk about your messy screen?
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about it a little bit because you can see I made it clean in a jiffy, and this is what it really looks like. And I threw a little blanket over it for good housekeeping. If I could do this in real life, I would do it. But you know, like when people come over, you just throw a blanket over all the stuff in your house and hide it. But anyway, it's a nice program called Desktop. And I forgot to put it on my handout, but I like it. It picks things up. Now I'm going to show you something else before I get really started. I actually have a handout that I want to go over. I'm not really going to go over because right now, as you can see, my mother is sending me updates from the Mexico soccer game over here.
John, Don, can you turn it up a little bit? You
can still hear me, right?
Yeah. We need you a little louder, I think.
Okay. I sure hear you. You know what? I'm going to turn my sound down so it doesn't echo. It might help. Okay. So, are you ready?
No.
The key?
Oh, no.
We don't need a key. Yeah, we do.
Ready, George?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, you see these notifications I'm getting here from my mom keeping me posted on the Mexico soccer game, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you see these here?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, these notifications are going to get in the way. There's a nice way to hide notifications, and this little menu over here in the top right corner, if you click on it, it's not going to hide them. If you hold the Option key down and click on it, it's going to hide them, and it's going to prevent future notifications from coming in while I'm giving the talk. So that was our first Option key trick, is to hold the Option key down and click this little corner up here so that notifications from text messages, from emails, and from whatever else don't come in. Do you see that? Everybody happy?
Yeah.
Okay. So feel free to, George, if you can, maybe you'll have to provide feedback so I know that you're seeing what I'm doing, all right?
Yeah, no, they saw
Oops, I
it.
just lost your sound, George. I don't hear anything anymore. Where'd you guys go? Oh, that's good.
Back.
Thanks, George. Okay, so I've hidden these notifications so we can have a nice, relaxed talk. All right, so first I'm going to do is I'm start out slowly, build, and you'll, transfer out with you. So I'm going to, I'm going to switch to the Finder here. So, we use the Finder a lot. We've got windows like this. There's all kinds of stuff in these windows. I mean, lots and lots of stuff. Okay. Well, first thing I want to do is I want to figure out what these buttons mean. I mean, I know you probably know what most of them mean, but they could use some labels, and they're small targets. So, if you hold the Control key down and you click on the toolbar, you get a little menu. The first thing we get is icon and text. So if I just change this to icon and text, now the icons have labels underneath, and they tell me what they do. And that also means that they're bigger targets. So before, when they were just icons, they're kind of small. When I go icon and text, they get a little bigger to give room for the labels. So it makes it easier to click on. You can also add items to the toolbar. And again, I'm going to control click on the toolbar. If I go to customize, you can see this is the standard set that everybody gets. But there's other things that are nice, like you might want a button to eject a CD. If you've got a CD player, you just drag it up. Okay. You might want a button to delete things. So I can grab a little trash can here. I'll park this up here. So now, when I'm done, if I find something here that looks like I could throw away, I'm going to take a quick look at it, make sure I can really throw it away. Yeah, okay, so here's something I want to throw away. I can just click on it. Now I can click my little delete button, and it goes away. Okay, so that's customizing the toolbar. There's always more than one way to do things, and the other way to do it is to go to the View menu and customize the toolbar from here. But anyway, the toolbar is nice. Once you've done it, then new windows will also have these buttons on. So that's a handy thing. Now another thing that's handy is to customize this toolbar even more and put some folders in there that you use a lot. So I'm going to find a folder that I use a lot, and one of them is where did my folder go? Here. So this was a folder. It took me a while to find this folder. Here's this folder. I dragged it over here like this so I would have quick access to it. But another place I like to have it is up here. I can put things in the toolbar like this. Now when you drag it, you notice it doesn't go there and stay there. And you think, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Well, yes, you got to hold the command key when you drag it up there. You see, you get a little plus that follows your cursor. So now, no matter what I'm doing, no matter which folder I'm in, I can click this button here that says Texas Bird Pictures, and it opens up that folder. So if you want to put a folder up here for quick access, you got to hold down the command key when you drag it up there. All right? Okay. So you can also even put things up here like programs. So I'm going to go to the Applications folder, and you probably have a shortcut on the left side of your screen that says Applications, and you've probably got your applications like this. But it's a long way to scroll for the ones that you like. I'm going to take my mail program, and I'll show you why I want to do this. I'm going to take my mail program, and I'm going to put it up here like this. Now, you already know I did this wrong. I wasn't holding the command key down. So I'm holding the command key down. I'm going to park it right here. Why would I want to do this? Well, because let's say I want to send someone a picture. This is a picture of out the back window of a bird feeder. Suppose there was a beautiful bird eating at my bird feeder, and I want to email this. Well, if I take this picture, I drag it onto the mail icon like that, it turns dark, you see, and then it creates an email that's ready to be sent. So by putting programs that you use a lot up there in the Finder's toolbar, you can just get to them in a hurry. Of course, I could have just clicked. On Mail to launch Mail too. So there's a lot of value in putting a couple of key programs up there. So you might think about command dragging Mail up there, and maybe a couple of key folders. All right. So that's it for customizing the Finder. Maybe one more thing. If you view them like this is the icon view. Now you can see what these things are, but if I grab down here, look at the bottom here, I've got a slider. Now I can make them bigger so I can see what they are. So that's a nice thing too. So now I know what they are without opening them up. Okay. So that's it for the Finder. That was fun. Let's move on to mail program, where we just were.
Hold on a second. You wanted to see where that slider was again.
Okay, let's do it again.
Lower right-hand corner.
Lower right-hand corner.
Thanks.
Now you only see it if you're in the icon view. Okay? So this is the icon view by icon. and then it's right down here. I've got so many things in this folder that it takes a while for it to load, but there it is.
You see it?
Yeah.
Right down here, bottom right corner. Got it? Okay.
George,
Let's.
Wait 1 second. Yes.
can you drag a folder into your, so it appears in mail or only in the Finder?
Oh, I see. You want to put a folder in the mail toolbar. Is that what you want to do?
Correct.
You can drag a folder of mail into the toolbar, but you can't drag a folder of pictures in there.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Speaking of mail, let's talk mail. So here's a typical situation, typical viewer menu. I wonder, George, do you see your little picture of your screen in the corner of my screen or no?
Yes.
You don't see this, right? This is just a big blank window, right?
No.
No. I see your
Okay,
mail
I'm gonna park this
window.
out of the way. I lost the sound again, George. I just wanted to.
I see your mail window, and I see
Okay.
you and I up in the right-hand corner.
Okay, I'm going to try to make the two of us even smaller there. So now we're not there. Okay.
No, we're still there.
Okay, but we're small, right?
No. Same size.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't know how that works, but let's keep it moving. So here we are in the mail program, and now leveraging what we did before, we know the toolbars can be customized. So here's a toolbar. This is the standard toolbar. So what I've done for this talk is I've reset everything back to the standard thing, which is likely what you've got. So I basically ruined my setup to demonstrate how you fix it and how you make it better. So this is the standard toolbar, and you've got these buttons which you can kind of figure out what they do, but it's better if we do what we just learned how to do. We hold down the control key and we click on icon and text. Okay, now these buttons are bigger. Now I know that one's get mail, I know this one's new message, and so on. The writing really helps me. But that's not enough for me, because let's say I'm looking at an email like this one. To me, it's a little small. This writing's a little small. So I would like to make this bigger. So let's customize the toolbar, put a button on it that makes things bigger. So I'm going to control click and go to customize toolbar. But remember, if you forget about that, if you look over here, you find customize toolbar anyway. You don't really have to remember exactly where it is. You just have to know it when you see it. Customize toolbar. What are we going to do? Here's my favorite buttons, smaller and bigger. I'm going to put, I don't care about smaller, but I do care about bigger. So I'm going to put those up there. And that's probably the most important one to me. Maybe a print button, that's sort of nice too sometimes. Save me a little bit of work. Oh, and this one too, the show and hide related messages. So this one's sort of handy as well. Okay, so now I'm done. So now I'm reading this email. It's too small for me. I start clicking the buttons here. It's bigger. Well, that was easy. So now I can read it. So that button's going to be there forever. However, if you went to an email, here's an email, I'm going to double click it because a lot of people double click them. And you see here, I don't have a bigger button on this one. I only have a bigger button back in the big mail viewer window. So I'm going to add here the bigger buttons to this too. And once I do this, I'm done. So that goes there. I want icon and text so I know what they do. I'll put my print button up there too. And that's what I'm going to do. So now, if I happen to double click, I can still make it bigger and bigger and bigger. If I go too far, I go smaller, smaller, smaller. So no one ever asks me how to make things smaller, but they always want it bigger. So that's how you do it. All right, any questions about that? If there are any, George, look.
Any questions? No.
Not on that, but I do have a mail question.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Mail.
Hold on. I'm trying to get this We have a question on something else, I think. Don?
Before you leave mail, I have a question.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, in identifying spam, if you go to full headers or whatever it's called, show all headers, which one of the IP addresses is the sender, the top one?
Wow. Well, let's have one more because it's going to take me a minute to show you that. That's not 100% reliable anyway for us to try to stop spam that way. You probably can't stop it. All you can do is try to track it.
No, I just want to identify it.
Back to that, 'cause I
Wait a
don't have any-
minute, Don. Wait
Okay.
a minute, Don, what'd you say?
I'm not trying to stop it, I just want to identify if I'm not sure that it's spam or not. You know, if I look and it's from Nigeria or Kazakhstan, then I know it is.
Yeah, the problem with that is that you can fake those numbers, and so it's not a surefire way to identify it.
Thank you.
That's the problem. But I'll try to get back to that in a minute, or at the end rather. Let me keep rolling. Sorry to not have an easy answer for that one. Okay, so let me show you. Speaking of making things bigger, when we go to make a new message, it shows up in some font, and to me this is a little bit small. So what can we do? Well, we can make it bigger. What we can do. So the way you do that is you go to Preferences in Mail, and you go to Fonts here. So you might have thought that the place to go was up here in Format and show the fonts, but that's only for the message you're on. I want to make things bigger everywhere. So the top one, Message List font, is the font down here on the side, but the message font is what you're writing it. So I'm going to make this quite a bit bigger, so it'll be clear that we made it bigger. All right, so I'm going to make this 24 point. When I make a new message now, okay, so you can change the font like that, and when you write stuff, you can't be sure that the people at the other end are going to see it the way you typed it. So that's going to work to your advantage here, because if you want to make things big so they're convenient for you, it's probably not going to show up giant at the other end when they receive the mail. It might, but you don't have that kind of control really. So anyhow, it's nice to be able to see what you're writing when you're writing it. So that's why you want to change the font size. Okay, let me show you. I'm looking at my notes over here. Okay. Let's say, I'm going to make another new message. Let's say you make mistakes. I'm going to get rid of the signature. Let's say you make mistakes. So I'm going to, okay, the fixed things behind me. I don't know if you saw that, but here I'm not capitalizing the word this, and I hit a space and it fixed it anyway. And I'm going to put a second S on is, and, well, that's not going to work, but I'll make another mistake. I'll misspell mistake. Watch this. That's not how you spell mistake. That is a mistake. When I hit space, they fix it. So how is this happening? Sort of like your iPhone if you've got one. If you look in spelling and grammar, right there, correct spelling automatically. That's the one you want. On the handout that I made, I showed you a picture of that. All you got to do is be able to find it. So spelling is always under the edit menu, no matter which program you're in, and here it is. So this is way better than just underlining it in red. That works too. Underlining it in red shows you that you made a mistake, but this one fixes it. So hopefully that'll speed up your typing. A lot of times you know how to spell and you don't misspell it, you mistype it. This that.
Christian, is that available in most every program?
Well, it's available in most every Apple program. not necessarily every program, but this is a built-in system level spelling checker. So unless the program has its own spelling system, this will probably work. Even in Word, you can correct things automatically. You just have to look for the right settings to say correct automatically. All right, let's do one more.
We have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
A lot of times, I'm trying to type a word, and the spelling corrector keeps changing it to what it thinks it should be. How in the world do you keep the thing from undoing what I think is right?
Okay, I'll say sometimes. Let's say I want to spell a mistake like this. Well, first of all, if it's capitalized, they will leave it alone almost always. But if you see the little blue thing here, it's got an X next to it. I can click the X and say, no, I want it to be a mistake like that. So if I want to write this with two S's and I want it to stay there, I can click the X and that has to accept what I did. So that's how I do that.
How are you getting
Right.
that?
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
How are you getting that to show up? It doesn't show up for me. I just get the word and then it corrects it.
Well, that's interesting. It ought to work. I'll tell you one other thing you can do is you could make your own corrections in the system preferences. In the text section, you can basically say, here's a word that I want to stay typed the way I want it to be. So you can. I'm not going to take you there now because it would be down a rabbit hole right now. But if you look system preferences and then text, you'll see. Well, I'll show you. I'll get you started here. Keyboard and here. These are shortcuts. So you can say if I type something wrong, like if I make a word that I don't want them to fix, I can put it in here. Let's say I want mistake to always be mistake. It'll replace it with the same thing. So that could do that. That's going to look pretty silly, but I'm going to do it. So you see, it's still mistake. So you could add it there, and then that's going to fix that. Okay, let's move on. I want to do something else. One other thing about mail. One more thing about mail is a lot of times you want to email something to somebody. It's a picture or something that you found somewhere. So what you can do, a lot of times you've got the picture maybe like here on the desktop, and I showed you before, if you added mail to your toolbar, then you're all set. You drag this up here like this, and there's your email ready to go. Even if the mail program wasn't running, it would start the mail program for you. Okay, so now, let's do it another way. Suppose you don't put your stuff up here. Suppose you're looking at the desktop like I showed before. Let's go back to the desktop and make the messy desktop again. And let's say this is exciting document. Okay, let's say you've got this document and you want to email this to somebody. Well, if you can find your mail program in the dock, mine's way over here, but if you drag it onto the mail icon in the dock, and there it is, it will also pop open, and there's my little picture. So dragging something onto the mail icon, whether it's in the dock or it's up here, will create an email with that attachment, and that's a nice shortcut. It's way easier than doing it the normal way. The normal way is you do this. You write a message, you address it to somebody, and you come down here, and then you hit this paperclip, and you try to attach, and you end up in what my friend Tom calls the dead-end box. Like, how do I get out of this? So it's much easier if you can see the item already on your desktop. Just drag it onto the mail icon and do it. Now, there's one more way you can do it, and that's this. Let's say that you can see the icon out here, in fact, you can just drag it into the mail program like that, and now it's in. Right, so that's easy stuff. So I just drag pictures into a mail program, and it's a lot easier than going through the pay-per-click method. So let's not do that. All right, let's do some stuff with Safari. I'm going to leave mail, sorry, but Safari's calling. So
George, a mail
now
question.
Safari. I'm going to go to the New York Times, and I'm going to read.
1 second. Did you have
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
question?
George.
Do we have a question?
Yeah, like you, many of us have many email accounts. Is there any third-party program or add-on that would allow a selection that whatever you have selected in the sidebar, that becomes the sending email instead of Apple deciding for me which one it should be?
Well, sort of, yeah. Here's the way it's supposed to work. When you look at this preference, and you look at composing,
Right.
it's, now if you say send new messages from, automatically select the best account, you're supposed to choose the one that you're in. Now certainly if you're replying to a message, it uses the same account that it came in on, but if you say automatically, this should work. I'm going to do a quick experiment here. So if I'm looking in the iCloud mail and I make a new one, this shows me that it's from my Mac.com address. That's good. Let's see if I'm in this account and I make a new one. This is coming from Mac Meta Christian Boyce. So that seems to be working. And let's look at AOL. So I keep for sort of historical reasons. New message. It shows me it's from AOL. So the trick, or the key there, was to go to preferences and say send new messages from automatically select best account. And apparently, automatically, that worked for me. I hope it works for you.
No, it doesn't work. Let's
Okay, let's
say
do-
you want to send somebody a
Wait a minute.
Safari stuff.
Wait a second. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
ready?
ahead, go ahead, Don. The
Yeah,
question.
it doesn't work. You have a business account and a personal account. And let's say you want to invite somebody to dinner or something like that. But because the last time you mailed this person, it was related to your business, Apple automatically assumes that it wants to send it from the business, even though you may have your personal account set on the sidebar. So, I mean, it was like that for the first 100 years of Apple until the last couple of OSs. Whatever I had selected in the sidebar, that was the sender. I didn't have to look at it to check. It was, but I guess you can't, there's no third-party map.
Well, no, I have a few third-party things that I really like for mail, but I don't know of one that does what you want.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on to Safari. So, first of all, let's look at how we can make this nice for experience. I'm reading this. I'm going to read we'll try to read this article here, and it's a mess. I've got some big ad up here, and here comes another ad, and it's a mess. So the first thing to do is to remember that you've got this thing called the reader view, and it looks like a bunch of lines. It's up here at the top. So I'm going to click on that, and when I do that, it cleans it up. Look how nice. Okay. Now, in addition to that, the reader view also has these icons over here for text. I can make it bigger, so I can bigger. That's nice. I can also choose a different font if I like. I can choose gray text on black. So this reader view is just sensational, but it only works when it understands that what you're reading is an article. If there's more than one thing going on, like at the beginning of the New York Times here, they wouldn't know what to do, and so there's no reader button up here. But once you get into an article, then the reader button should show up. And so I find this extremely handy. First of all, it hides all the ads, and so it's faster. Second of all, it's configurable font-wise. So you just gotta use it, okay? If you don't do that, I'll be very, very disappointed, because this is the best thing ever. Okay, so that's the and by the way,
Hold on a second. Was there a question out
I
here?
don't know where the hell he is.
There's slow up his arrow so we can see it.
It's the reader view button. The reader view button. Where is it?
Yeah.
It's a little blank square.
That's
square. It's in the
right
title.
there.
It's a little black square.
He's showing it to you right here.
No,
Can you
sorry.
see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
But if I have one on my screen, it might help me learn a little bit.
It's not
Well, you have
black
to go to New
until
York
you select
Times
it.
Until I
website.
select the button?
Yes.
Yes,
You gotta
the
click on it.
horizontal line, you click on the horizontal lines.
Okay.
There are three of them.
I'll figure it out.
I have a question, Kristen. In reader view, when I do read, I like to send the articles out to the group in reader view because it gets rid of all the ads and all the nonsense. But it also gets rid of some of the articles sometimes.
Yes, it doesn't always work. Sometimes, especially if the article is continued on another page, it doesn't do a good job of going and getting it. So, you use it when you can. You hope it works. There's no adjustments in it. It just it's up to the person who makes the web page to put certain tags around the article so that Safari can recognize it is an article. And if it's not perfect, then it doesn't work out. Still, it's really great to know how to do it, and you can do it almost any time. So it's hiding ads. It's giving you a nice, easy thing to read. If you were to print, it's going to print like this. That's nice. If you were to email it to someone as a PDF using your button over here, your share button, it looks better. So it's a good thing to know how to do. Now, while we're at it, let's look at this toolbar here. I can't resist the toolbar. So we already know that we can customize Finder toolbars and mail toolbars. Let's customize this toolbar too. So let's find customize toolbar. Here it is up at the top. And I'm going to I want bigger buttons here. Because sometimes you can't use reader view and you got to make it bigger right here. I need that one there, and what else do I need? I think maybe a button to email things to people, even though I got a share button down there. And maybe an autofill to squirt things in when I'm filling in a form. Maybe a print button too. You see how easy it is to drag stuff around. If you change your mind, you drag them off. If I don't want the print button, just kick it off. Okay. And in this case, you don't get to say text, just icon.
Hold on, we have a question.
George, is that your
Yes.
mouse cursor in the middle? Can
Yeah.
you move it? And can you ask him to make his mouse cursor bigger so that we can follow where he's pointing much better?
That's a good idea. I should have done that a long time ago. So here's how you do it, in case you don't know. So system preferences and accessibility. See if I can find my mouse. Where's my cursor? I think it's here. No, where'd it? I know it's in here. Just a minute. I don't do this every day. Where's my cursor? There we go. How's that? Is that better?
No.
No.
You change.
Okay, let's do that. All right.
No, it didn't change. Didn't change. Same size.
Oh, you don't see it. You don't see the change, huh?
No.
I can't. That's then we have to blame Skype for that because to me it's so big. It covers half the screen. I'm gonna do it. I'll make it this full, the biggest it can make, and then we'll see what happens. That's big. I don't know if you can see. I've made it full large. Here, the cursor's about 4 times as big as it normally is. Sorry about that, guys. It's not.
No more.
So let's look up here at the top, though. You've got these bigger buttons. So once again, I can hit a button to make things bigger. And if it doesn't fit, you can make it smaller, but bigger's nice. So, let's do, I have one more thing to do for you with Safari, and that's a plugin called AdBlock Plus. So, I even have a link in the handout I gave you. If you click where it says AdBlock Plus, it'll bring up AdBlock Plus. It's free, and it will, if I turn it on, it will block things. So you might not think that we've got that many ads going. This is an extension for Safari. If Safari is not your thing, you can do this for Chrome and Firefox also. But I'm doing it for Safari. They're all very standard. So when we look at this, the page hasn't changed at all. But that's because AdBlock Plus wasn't ready when we turned on New York Times. So I'm going to reload the New York Times page here. And now let's see what it looks like with AdBlock Plus involved. This number up here, I don't know if you can see that number, but it's next to the AdBlock Plus icon, it's counting up. It's up to 22, 23. That's how many ads it's hidden. So 28 ads were hidden just on this one page. So there's a couple things that happen there. Number one, oh, it looks like 30. Number one, it's easier to read because there's less clutter, less distraction. Second thing is it loads faster because AdBlock Plus doesn't cover up the ads. It just doesn't let them load. So if you're loading fewer items, then your web page loads more quickly. Now sometimes you're going to go to a web page and they're going to say, I see that you've got an ad blocker on here. We'd like you to turn it off. Well, that's something you can do on a case-by-case basis. So if I click on the AdBlock Plus icon up here in the toolbar, which it puts itself in there when you install it. If I click there, I can uncheck here where it says enabled on this site. And it's telling you right here, it's blocked 30 ads. If I uncheck this here, and then I reload the page, you'll see how bad it looked before. It's going to have this one big ad here, ads in the corner, all this stuff that I really don't care about. But if you go to a web page and they won't let you use it without allowing ads, then you just come here and you turn it off for that site, okay, for that site. So I like it on, and so I'm going to leave it on. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you about some of the programs that are built into your Mac, and you have these features there. You just need to know they're there. So, any questions so far? So we're going to move on to page 2.
Any questions?
You're going to like page 2.
Page 2.
Okay. So sometimes you want to put maybe 2 web pages side by side. Maybe you're reading an article here and you want to grab the corner and resize it and put it over here, but it's a lot of trouble. Now if I want to make another page, let's say I want to put another one over here. Well, I can open another Safari window. So long as you can't see my big cursor, I'm going to change it back to the regular one so that I'm not so clumsy with it. It's I feel like I'm using a cursor that takes both hands here. Okay, back to normal. Okay, so suppose I want to have another page. I want to go to, I don't know, let's say I want to go see apple.com. Okay, now, it happens a lot. You want to take this window, it's got some arbitrary size, arbitrary location, and you want it to maybe take the right half of the screen, and you want the other one to take the left half of the screen. So we know the routine. You grab in the toolbar here, and you drag it over, and you resize it, and it's, it's doable, but you waste a lot of time doing it. In fact, you waste so much time, most people don't even bother. So you end up just sort of shuffling windows around like this. But here's how we are going to shuffle windows around starting now. This green button has been, it doesn't do what it used to do. Used to be, if you click the green button, it would do something like this. It would make the window big. Now what happens when you do it is it takes away the menu bar, takes away the dock, and it makes people get lost. And I know you know how to get out of it, that you can push the cursor to the top, get your toolbar back. But even better than knowing that is to buy a program called NMUG. Okay, NMUG is move and zoom in 2 steps. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, how it works. And I use it on all my Macs, and I think it's great. I save a ton of time. So what you do is instead of clicking the green button, is you point to it. Now across the top here, they're showing me this would be full size. If I click there, I get a full size. If I point and I click here, I get it's on the left. If I point here and click on the right, it's on the right. So I don't have to do anything really to give me one click to put things where I want it. So if I want to put this one on the right, and I want to put this one here on the left, just like that, it's 100% done, and there's no dragging around from the edges and stuff like that. So Move is really dynamite. Now sometimes you want, and it does the full screen perfectly, and this is full screen. That's great. Sometimes you want something to take up some sort of arbitrary size. Of course, you can still resize it the old way, but you can also click and drag to do it. So if I do like this, I can click and say I want it to be this big, and there it is. So the ones I use the most, I use this one, and I use the second one, I use the third one. And on occasion, I'm going to stack up 2 web pages, one on the top and another one on the bottom, because sometimes I'm trying to compare things, and so I can see, okay, I've got this down here, I've got this up here. Maybe when I'm building a web page, I want to, I don't have a big enough screen to show things full size, but I can show me, two half screens. So Moon is available at the App Store. I provided a link on the handout. If you click on it, it'll go straight there. It's $10, but it's a good $10. So
Move.
that's enough about that. But boy, is it awesome!
It only works as
And it works on every program. It has nothing to do with Safari. So if I go to say Mail, if I want Mail to take up half a screen, I can do that. If I want to take up, I want to put it over on the right. You can see it's really easy.
Christian, we have a question.
Oh, cool.
Larry George, I got a feeling too.
Christian, a question?
Was there a question, anyone?
Don?
No, he answered. Is it M-O-V-E or M-O-O-N?
M-O-O-M. I will show you in a minute.
It's in the handout I sent yesterday.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions on Moon?
Okay, so I'm going to show you something else really great in just a second. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's Move. It's Move and Zoom, so it's Move. Okay, I don't name these things. I just tell you what they are. I don't like the name either. It sure works great. And look at these ratings. Good ratings. Technically, I believe you can get a trial if you find the developer. You can get a trial, but it's worth $10. I don't think you're going to be sorry. All right, let me show you something else that I use a lot. And it's this one is called paste. All right, well, paste. You think we know how to copy and paste, but here's my problem. Let's say what I'm doing is I'm selecting chunks of text here. I'm going to copy this chunk. Maybe I'm putting together a newsletter or something, or an email to somebody. And so I come up here and I copy this, and then I go to write my email. I'm going to get to my email here, and I'm going to write my new email. And maybe I put here, I want to paste this. Okay, well that's easy, copy and paste. I paste exactly what I copied. But sometimes you copy something and you then sort of forget. You don't straight away paste it. You do something else. Like maybe you maybe you like this logo a lot, and so you copy this. And now, if you go back and say, well, I gotta write that email, don't I? So you go write your email, and when you come here, and you do your paste, it's not that text from the New York Times anymore, it's this picture. So that's the bad news about copying and pasting, right? Is it only pastes the last thing that you copied. And now you have to go back and go find that stuff you wanted at before, so I've got to go back here like this and find Safari and copy my stuff again. And it's just inconvenient and slow, but it's funny that this has not changed at all since the original Mac in 1984. So now I've copied this stuff again. If I decide I also want to copy this, well, guess what? The thing I copied down here is no longer copied. I've only got one clipboard, only one place to paste stuff, so it's so you see the problem. Okay, I can paste this, but now I can't paste the other things. It's always going to paste the same thing over and over. All right, how do we solve this? We solve this with a program called Paste. So Paste is also going to cost you $10, but here's what happens: is Paste modifies the way copy and paste works. It allows you to copy multiple things, that remembers multiple things, and that the number of things it remembers is configurable by you, and you bring it up like this. These are the things, so I use the keyboard shortcut to pop this up. And these are the things that I've copied lately. That one, this one, this one. Here's a YouTube video I sent to somebody today. Here's your logo. Here's something I was writing to somebody else. Here's a phone number I needed. Here's some Italian. So all these things that I have copied lately, I can then paste by just clicking them. So in this case, double clicking them, in it goes. There's that. I bring up my shortcut again. I can throw that in there. I bring up my shortcut again. I'll paste this one. I can paste my. I go way back here. Well, here's our Naples mug logo. So in a way, if you are a really old-time Mac user, this sort of looks like the scrapbook. Except the scrapbook was maybe a little bit more trouble. You had to copy and paste into the scrapbook. This just remembers everything you copied. So how do you get it? Well, you get it over here. Well, what you do is you go to the link that I put in my handout. That's the easy way. But if you really want to do it the hard way, you can do it like this. You go find paste. And you'll find it, I hope. Come on, paste. Here you are. Paste 2. I forgot it's a 2. And you can read about it here, but basically you've seen me do it. It's terrific. You're really going to like it. It looks like he's raised the price to $14.99. I still think it's worth it. So Paste is a little program. You would see it in my menu bar, but I didn't have so much other junk in it. Let me see if I can make room for it. Here's Paste. So Paste looks like this. And I can set a shortcut key for it. I made it Control P for paste, and that's all you need to worry about really. And so I copy and paste things all day long, and they're from different places. And sometimes I forget that I copied something else, and I wish that I still had the first thing. And with paste, I've got all this stuff. This goes back. I mean, here's the pictures I was copying when I was making the handout for you. So it just remembers everything you do without you doing any work. It remembers everything, and if you go back and find it, you can just double click and paste it in. And let me see. I'll try to find. There's an important Kentucky Fried Chicken logo, and let's write it in for right here. Okay, so that's paste. I hope you like paste. I think you will. Let's do one more thing.
Wait.
Question about paste.
Yeah, hold on.
How do you rate your history?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's bring this up here. I can, or if it's highlighted like this, I can press delete on my keyboard. You can't see me doing it, but there it's gone. Okay, I'll delete this one. I'm going to click on it, press delete, it's gone. You have, in the preferences for paste, you get to tell it, I said unlimited. Well, that's a long way. I can clear the whole thing here. But you can save a month's worth of stuff. Maybe a month is enough for me, so I'm gonna see if I can do that. So that's a good question. I mean, depending on what you're copying, like let's say you're copying, I don't know, state secrets or something, and pasting them into an email and sending it to Russia, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's how you do that.
Any other questions? Any other questions on page?
Yeah, you scrolled way back and found something. Does that automatically move it to the top of the list the next time?
Yes, it does. It does. If I grab this Yoda, if I double click Yoda, now it's in the front.
Thank you.
So whichever one you have used lately comes to the front. Good question. All right, George, I lost this down. If you have another question, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to my last thing, which is called Alfred. I don't hear you, so I'm going to guess it's okay. Okay, there we go. So, look, we know about Spotlight. Spotlight's fun. You can come up here and click on it. You can search for things. So, let's say I'm looking for my friend Tom's phone number. I can type in Tom, and if I wait long enough, eventually, I hope it will show me Tom. You can see Spotlight's not doing what I want it to do, and it's not particularly fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something else called Alfred. Now, Alfred is sort of like Spotlight, but to me it's better. And what you have to do with Alfred is you bring it up with a keyboard shortcut. I've made mine Control Space. And by the way, this one's free. Okay, this one's free. So I'm gonna bring up Alfred with a Control Space. That's not a bad choice because Spotlight is by default Command Space. So Control Space is easy for me to remember. Once you do it a couple times, you remember it forever. So here I go. I'm going to do a Control Space, and that pops this box. Looks like Spotlight, but it's got Alfred over here. So I'm going to type in the word Tom. And these are all the things that have Tom in them. Not just people, but as I scroll down here, there's things that have Tom's email. This is the word tomorrow. Here's another Tom. Okay, but let's say what I'm looking for. I'm really looking for my friend Tom Sumner. Okay, well, this is if I go to Tom Rykoff, it pops open. Here's Tom Rykoff's card. Well, that's nice. I'm looking for Tom again, but I want to find what I care about is my friend Tom Sumner because I want to call him up. I want to look at his phone number. So somewhere down here in all these Toms, I'm going to find Tom Sumner. There he is. Okay, well, here's the thing that's neat about Alfred. Alfred pays attention and learns. So if I bring up Alfred again, after manually going to see Tom, if I type in Tom, you see he's the top one. So now all I'm going to do is hit return, and it brings up his card. So from now on, for the rest of the day, if I do Control Space and I look for Tom, it's Tom Sumner at the top, and a return brings me Tom's card. So it's extremely handy for looking people up. It's faster than coming here and doing it. I mean, this is clumsy. Now I got to plow through all this to find my Toms. Do it the other way, and here it is. So if I look for my Georges, oh look, there's George right at the top. And if that was not the George I wanted, if what I really wanted, sorry, my mistake. If I look for George, it didn't take long to get to George, just to GE. But if I wanted to find, let's say, George Carlin, you can see a shortcut on the right that says Command 6. So I could type Command 6 and it would pop up. So let's see if that happened. Hey, it did. Okay. So anyway, Alfred is awesome because Alfred is different than Spotlight. Spotlight finds text inside of documents, and it also finds things that are maybe named Tom, but it doesn't do it nearly as well as Alfred. Alfred finds stuff. So if you install Alfred for free, you want to get it straight from the publisher. This one you do not want to get from the App Store because the App Store version is really old. And because of the way Alfred works, they can't get it approved through the App Store and have it do all the things they want it to do. So that's why you have to get it straight from them. But it's still free, so go get it. All right, that's Alfred. Okay, so we've been almost an hour. George, I got 5 more minutes?
Whatever.
Let me know.
Yes, whatever amount of time. Yeah, we have a few minutes.
Okay, we're going to do, the last thing is I wanted to show you about the option key. Now, the option key is a great key because it does lots and lots of neat stuff. So I'm going to run down in the handout, I was showing that, I'm going to just run down everything that's in the handout on page 3. I made, on the desktop I have a lot of junk, sort of normal. And I even have another folder that's stuff that used to be on the desktop. And you look at all these folders. So suppose you accidentally open up a bunch of folders and you've got all these windows on the screen. Here they come. It's so many windows, it's taxing the machine. It can't even open them, but it's trying. So I'm sure you've done this before, where you just have a ton of stuff open, and then you have to one by one click this one, click that one, close them up. Well, turns out if you hold the Option key when you close, everything closes. So here I go. Option key, I'm holding the Option key while I close one of them. And look, they're all gone. Okay. So that took care of everything. So I'm going to do it again, maybe in slow motion here. Here are all these folders. I got all these Finder windows open by mistake. Sometimes you need to double click one thing and you double click a whole mess of things. This would work in other programs too. It would work in the Mail, it would work in Safari. Okay, so why does it work? Well, we know that we can close a window. But now you can't see my finger holding down the Option key, but when I do hold down the Option key, look, it changes to say close all. You see that? So when it's close all, it closes all. Okay, so that's a neat thing to know how to do in case you get into trouble with a million windows on your screen. All right, let's do another one. Let's suppose you have a laptop like me.
George?
Oh, let's cover up this stuff. Remember our old desktop?
1 second, we got a question.
Does it close the apps too?
No. Well, yes, sort of. Let's look in the inbox. I'm going to open up. All these windows by mistake. Let's see if they all open. Yeah. So now I've got a whole bunch of Mail windows open, right? Yeah. But if I hold the Option key down when I close one of them, it goes from. You see, it says close all. Yahoo. So they're all closed again. So yes. So I think I've answered your question. That's a yes. Okay. Let's say you've got a laptop and your battery doesn't seem to stay charged and you can't remember, you don't understand why it's not charging. If I click on the battery icon, I see that the battery's charged and I'm on the power adapter. That's nice. But if I hold the Option key down before I click on it, I see more. And the main thing is that it says condition normal. So I didn't see that until I held the Option key down. If your battery is dying, it's going to say condition replaced soon or something like that. So it's just a little extra information that you get by holding down the Option key. Same with the Wi-Fi. Here I'm on the Wi-Fi, and I see all my neighbors' stuff, and I see my stuff, but I don't really learn very much about these networks. If I hold the Option key down when I click, I get more info. This tells me, okay, I've got an IP address, this is where the router is, the internet's on, that's good, this is the kind of password, this is the channel I'm on, it's 5 gigahertz, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time you don't care about this stuff, but to me it's interesting to know that I'm getting 300 megabits per second, and when you're trying to find the right network, if you're trying to decide if I'm better off on the 5 gigahertz one or on the regular one, well, you can read these numbers and see which one comes out better. So that's just another option thing. Now, supposing you have a set of speakers in the house, or you have like a stereo that's connected with AirPlay. I'm playing all my sound out my regular speakers, but if I hold the Option key down, I see options here where I can have different inputs and different outputs. So you don't usually see that unless you're holding the Option key. Okay, Time Machine. Gotta have Time Machine. I hope you're using Time Machine. And normally what we do is we click on it and we say, oh good, it backed up at 924, that's great news. But we don't really know if the backup's any good. If I hold the Option key and I click on Time Machine, I can verify the backup. So I'm not going to do it now because it takes a while. But that's neat to know that you can do it. So once again, the Option key is providing that info. In this case, I didn't have to have the Option key down first. I just have to remember that that's what I use. Okay, I showed you before how to temporarily turn off the notifications. So I was getting messages up here in the top right from my mom, who doesn't know that I'm giving this talk right now. I told her I was going to be busy because I knew she would send me messages and it would be good for the demonstration. So I held the Option key down, I clicked here on the notification menu, and it went gray, which means basically don't bother me with notifications. But if I hold the Option key now and click again, it turns black, and we will get notifications, and here they are. Here's all the things I missed. So if you're busy and you don't want to see notifications temporarily, and you don't want to go to the system preferences to turn them off, just temporarily turn them off, holding the Option key and clicking up here. Very easy. Okay, we did close window. Oh, emptying the trash. Boy, you put stuff in the trash, and when you go to empty trash, it's always empty trash ... And that's nice because it gives you a chance to change your mind. But if your mind's made up and you put stuff in the trash and you want to get rid of it, and you don't want to wait for it to say, are you sure? Then you hold the Option key down first. When you do, you see the ... goes away. When the ... goes away, it means you're not going to get a dialog box. So that saves you a little bit of time. Same with over here. If I go here to restart, I get a box. And this is something you should know. Anytime you see an ellipsis after a command, you know you're going to get a box. So I can go to shut down without shutting down because I know I'm going to get a box that I can cancel out of. Anytime you see an ellipsis, that's your clue. But if you hold the Option key down, you're not going to get the box. And it's going to go straight to restart. So I'm not going to do that. But if you're in a hurry, that's how you save a few seconds. All right, now let's say you go to the preview program, or this would also work in Photos. Now let's say I open up a picture, and let's open up this one here. And let's say I want to rotate this around for some reason. Well, the rotate button always points the same way. And by the way, these labels are here because this is a toolbar. What did I do? I said icon and text. Yours probably looks like this. Those are too small and they don't explain what they are, icon and text. So sometimes, let's say your picture is like this, you want to rotate it to the right. Well, it's just like driving. You turn left 3 times, left, 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 and you've gone right. But wouldn't I rather go to the right once? Well, if you hold the Option key, watch very carefully, that rotate button turns. So with the Option key down, it goes the other way. So that's a small thing, but it's a nice move to show off anyway. Okay, let's say if you're typing, holy cow, you gotta type accents. So I'm gonna write an email here. I want to say hasta mañana to my Mexican friends. Well, if I do this, now they're going to fix it for me because they're nice in the mail. But instead of doing that, if I knew that there was a way to type an N with a squiggly thing on top of it, I would do it. How do we know about that? Well, we show the keyboard viewers what we do. So in the system preferences, you can go to keyboard and you can say, I can say, or my mistake, where is that? I gotta show the keyboard viewer and I've lost it. Okay, right here, all right. I can come up here and I can show, if I show the keyboard viewer, it shows me the keyboard. This is my little keyboard. And everything I type on it, if I press a key, there's the shift key down, here's the control key down, here's the option key down. When I hold the option key, they show me what certain keys are going to do. So the N over here is going to turn to this little squiggly thing. I'm sure it's got a good name. I don't know what it is, but it turns out that if I want to type one of those, I can hold the option key down. So I'm going to do, over here in my email, I'm going to do option N, and then I'm typing my N, and it turns into the Enya that I want. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting characters that you might not know how to type, like if I want to put an upside down question mark, so I want to type in Spanish, well, I know that question mark it's over here when I hold the shift key down. That's the right side up question mark, but how do I do it upside down? If I hold the option key down, and maybe the option and the shift, there it is. So when you look at the keyboard viewer and you hold the option key down, you can see some other keys that you can type. In fact, one of my favorites, if you want to type an Apple logo, hold down the option and the shift, and I can click here, that's a K. Option Shift K types apples. So if you want to know how to do that stuff and you don't remember all the things I ran through here, on my website I've got a blog a blog post that's called something like how to type upside down question marks and other stuff, and it's there. Okay, last but not least, let's say you're in preview again, and let's say I want to add an arrow or something to this. So I go to markup and I put, here's an arrow, and I want to put, I want to point to this, and then I want another arrow just like it. Well, the easy way, I can copy it and paste it. The easy way is to hold the option key down and pull one off, and there's another one just like that. So when you're trying to, normally when you move something around without the key, it just moves. You hold the option key down and you peel off the copy. So that's a nice thing. Oh, one last thing. Suppose I go to, I want to save this with another name. Well, Apple, somewhere along the way, maybe 10.9 or 10.10, they changed save as to duplicate. But if I hold the option key down, it's my old friend save as again. We know what to do with this one. This one we don't really know. This one we do. So anyway, bring back the old days with the option key there. Okay, that, my friends, is that. I'm glad to take some questions, especially to everybody.
Any questions? No? Any questions? Yes.
I'm stuck in AOL Mail because I don't know how to tell everybody that I know that I'm switching to Gmail. Is there a quickie way I can switch from AOL Mail to Gmail?
Well, you got to write email about it. What you don't want to do, let me show you what you don't want to do. Here's your email. You don't want to put in, you don't want to drag everybody's name in here into the to box. Okay, because suppose I want to tell George and Tom that I'm changing email. So I type in George here, him. I type in Tom, him. Maybe another one of my Toms. Maybe this one. Well, if you do that, then everybody is going to know everyone else's email address. And when they reply to you, they're probably going to do reply all. And it's just going to create a giant mess for all your friends. They're not going to like you. So don't do that. What I would do is, well, the first thing I would do is if you're using the Apple Mail program, then you could create a group in your address book. And so your address book is the Apple address book, which I'm bringing up here, called Contacts. And you can make a group. So you can make, I've got some groups over here. These are people that came to a wedding, and what I did is I dragged them into this group. So making a group, you gotta learn how to do. But then I could take these people in this group and I could put them in a BCC. So this is the group. And if they're BCC'd, I could basically email myself. I can say to me, and I'm going to say I changed my email. You know, here's the new one. So when they're BCC'd like this, the whole world's not going to see them. So that's the smooth move, is to put them in a BCC. And that's what you got to do, is send out an email.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, next.
Wait, 1 second. Any other questions? Is there any other? Kristen, thank you. That was really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, George, you're welcome to use my email address, which is on the handout. If you click that link, got a question, remind me you came from this group, and I'm glad to try to help you. There's other links in that handout, links to I've got a web page that looks like this. I've got 500 articles on here. And you can search it up here, search for things. I've got another web page that I've been working on lately that's called 1 Minute Mac Man. These are things that are very short articles, very short, and they're supposed to be short so that I can write them almost every day. So maybe you want to know about is iCloud up or not? Well, you've got 60 seconds. You can read this article and you're done. Okay. So that's another resource for you, and that's on the handout too. When I have something interesting to say, I usually send out a mailing to people, and you can add yourself to my mailing list. That's on the handout. Links to the apps, that's on the handout. So the free stuff, the paid stuff, whatever you want to do, it's all on the hand. And if I wanted to. I've got a whole bunch of iPhone stuff I can do for you too.
Thank you very much.